think semen retention is a magic trick, don't you? You believe if you just hold on for 30 days, a supercar will appear in your driveway and women will faint as you walk by. You scroll through forums looking for the secret technique, the one weird trick that will give you superpowers without any actual work. You are a child in a library, looking for the comic books while ignoring the volumes of wisdom that could actually change your life. This journey is not for you, if you feel it, don't you? A deep sense that you are meant for more. You have ideas, grand visions, plans to build a better life, a stronger body, a sharper mind. Yet, you find yourself at the end of the day completely drained. Your energy is gone, scattered into 100 different directions. You look at your to-do list, at the book you wanted to read, at the business plan you wanted to write, and you feel nothing but exhaustion. You tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes the next day and the next. You have a powerful engine, but the fuel tank is full of holes. You pour gasoline in every morning, and by noon, you're running on fumes. You chase fleeting moments of pleasure, thinking they are filling you up. A few minutes of mindless scrolling, a moment of empty release. You think these things are rewards. You believe they are relieving your stress. You are wrong. You are not rewarding yourself. You are draining the very life force that is meant to build your future. You are trading a kingdom for a piece of candy, and you do it over and over again, wondering why your kingdom is never built. If you genuinely enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. You see a man who is disciplined, focused, and full of vitality, and you think he was born that way. You think he has some secret you don't. You assume he is lucky. Let me tell you about his luck. He was just like you. He had a dream of becoming a great writer. Every day, he would sit down at his desk, and his mind would be a storm of distraction. He would think about a comment someone made at work. He would worry about a bill that was due. His phone would buzz, and he would be lost for an hour in a world of flashing lights and empty opinions. His creative energy, the very essence he needed to write, was being siphoned off by 1,000 tiny leaks. He would seek comfort in the easy path, a cheap thrill, a moment of release that left him feeling hollow and tired. He told himself it helped him relax, but his pages remained empty. He was a fountain, meant to water a great garden, but his water was spilling out onto the concrete, evaporating into nothing. You do this every day. You wake up with a finite amount of this powerful creative energy. This is not just a physical substance. It is your spiritual fuel. It is the fire that forges will. It is the electricity that powers insight. And what do you do with it? You give it away for free. You give it to arguments with strangers online. You give it to meaningless digital content designed to steal your attention. You waste it on fantasies that will never happen. And most of all, you spill the very seed of creation for a moment of forgetfulness, a brief escape from the pressure of your own potential. You have been taught that this is normal. You have been told it is healthy, and so you continue to empty your reserves, and then you stand there, spiritually bankrupt, wondering why you cannot afford to build the life you dream of. You think semen retention is about getting superpowers or attracting women. You are a child looking for a magic trick. You have missed the entire point. This is not about holding your breath to win a prize. This is about sealing the leaks in your fuel tank, so you have the energy to complete a great journey, the journey you were chosen for. This path is not for everyone. Most people are content to live with the leaks. They manage to get by on fumes. They drift through life with just enough energy to get to the next distraction, the next temporary pleasure. But you are different. You feel a pull towards something greater, a responsibility, a mission. That feeling is why the energy loss hurts you so much more. For a man building a small shed, a little wasted concrete is no big deal. But for a man building a skyscraper, every single drop of concrete is precious. You are here because you know deep down you are meant to build a skyscraper. And you are tired of showing up to the construction site with an empty wheelbarrow. Think of two farmers. The first farmer has a powerful river running through his land, but he has no dam, no channels. The river floods when it rains, washing away his topsoil. It runs dry when the sun beats down, leaving his crops to wither. His power is wild, chaotic, and ultimately destructive. He is at the mercy of the river. The second farmer sees the same river, but he spends his time and energy building a dam. It is hard work. It requires patience and foresight. He builds walls to contain the river's power. He digs channels to direct the water where it is needed most. Now the river's power is his to command. He can water his fields when they are dry. He can generate power from its flow. The river has gone from being a chaotic force to a source of immense, predictable, life-giving energy. Your vital essence is that river. Right now, you are the first farmer. Your energy floods and drains based on every whim, every impulse, every distraction. The practice of retention is the act of building the dam. It is the first, most crucial step in taking command of your own power. You make the mistake of thinking this is purely physical. It is not. The body is simply the container. The energy itself is spiritual. It is creative potential in its rawest form. When you waste it, you are not just wasting a bodily fluid. You are wasting ideas. You are wasting willpower. You are wasting the very fuel required for spiritual insight and endurance. You are throwing away masterpieces for a moment of sensory pleasure. You are trading your birthright for a bowl of soup. The ancient thinkers understood this. They saw this life force as the sacred fire. It could be used to create life in the form of a child, or it could be retained and transmuted, moved up the spine to the higher energy centers, to create life in the form of art, innovation, and spiritual awakening. It's like an old observer of human nature once noted, the base desires of man are not evil. They are simply powerful energies in their most raw form. The task of a wise man is not to destroy them, but to refine them and direct them toward a higher purpose. You believe the urge itself is the problem. You fight it. You wrestle with it. You see it as an enemy. This is a foolish battle that you will always lose. The urge is not the enemy. The urge is simply a sign that your generator is working. It is a signal that you have power. The real question is what you do when that signal appears. The untrained man immediately looks for the release valve. He has been conditioned to believe that pressure must be immediately vented. He is a slave to the signal. The wise man feels the signal and smiles. He says, there is power available. And then he redirects it. He goes for a run. He lifts heavy weights. He attacks a difficult problem at work. He picks up his paintbrush. He sits in meditation. He transforms that raw, chaotic energy into focused, disciplined action. He uses the power instead of letting the power use him. Think about the last great idea you had that you never started. What drained your energy that day? Share it in the comments below. You will find you are not alone. You will see a pattern. The pattern is that you give your power away to things that do not serve your mission. Today, that begins to change. The first step is not to fight the river. It is simply to decide that you will no longer let it run wild. You will begin the slow, patient work of building the dam. You have started the journey. You have made the decision to stop the leaks. And now you face the next great trap. You become obsessed with counting the days. You get to day 7, day 30, day 90. You treat these numbers like achievements. You wear them like a badge of honor. You look in the mirror and think you are a king. You are a fool. You are like a man who has locked the door to his pantry and now brags about how much food he has saved, while he himself is starving. You have stopped the leak, yes, but now the water is just sitting there. It is becoming stagnant. You have contained the power, but you are not using it. This is the great error of the counter. He thinks retention is the goal. Retention is not the goal, it is the tool. It is the gathering of resources. The real work is what you do with those resources. A man can go 100 days without release and still be a miserable, angry, arrogant person. He feels the pressure building inside him, this immense creative force, and he has no idea what to do with it. So it sours. It turns into ego. It turns into frustration. He looks down on others who are not on his streak. He thinks his number makes him superior. You do this. You start to feel this power and your ego latches onto it. You believe you are better than others. You have missed the point entirely. The purpose of gathering this power is not to inflate your ego, but to dissolve it. The purpose is to have enough fuel to do the hard work of becoming a better man, a kinder man, a more disciplined and focused creator. You are not building a dam just to look at the big lake you have made. You are building it to power a city. The process of using this energy is called transmutation. It is an old word for a simple idea, changing something from one form to a higher form. You take the raw, primal energy that pools in your lower body and you consciously move it upwards. You pull it up into your work, your creativity, your spiritual practice. How is this done? It is not a mystical trick. It is done through focused action. When you feel that restless energy, that intense urge, you do not suppress it. You do not ignore it. You greet it, and you give it a job to do. You say to that energy, we are not going to create chaos. We are going to create order. Then you pour that exact energy into a difficult task. You channel it into the very thing you have been procrastinating on. You use its fire to burn through your laziness and your fear. This is the art of the spiritual warrior. He does not slay his dragon. He tames it and rides it. Imagine a blacksmith. He has a piece of raw, shapeless iron. It is ugly and useless. He also has a fire. If he just throws the iron near the fire, nothing happens. If he puts the iron in the fire and leaves it, it will just melt into a puddle. The magic happens when he puts the iron in the fire, then takes it out at the perfect moment and strikes it with his hammer. He uses the fire to make the iron malleable, and he uses his will through the hammer to shape it. The heat, the iron, and the will must all work together. Your raw energy is the iron. The inner fire of desire is the forge. Your conscious, focused action is the hammer. You feel the heat rise, you take that energy, and you strike it with disciplined work. You forge it into a new habit. You shape it into a chapter of your book. You hammer it into a solution for your business. You do this again and again. You are not just retaining, you are creating. You get this wrong when you think it should be easy. You think you decide to do it, and the urges should just magically vanish. This is a child's fantasy. The urges will come. They will be strong. This is the resistance training for your soul. Each time an urge arises, it is a test. The undisciplined man sees it as a problem to be solved with release. The spiritual aspirant sees it as an opportunity to build will. He feels the wave of energy, and instead of letting it crash him into the rocks of indulgence, he learns to surf it. He channels its momentum toward his chosen destination. This is not about a life of no. It is about a life of a powerful, focused yes. You are not saying no to pleasure. You are saying yes to your purpose. You are saying yes to your art. You are saying yes to your mission. That yes must be stronger than the temporary. Yes to fleeting release. It's as if a wise observer of our nature once pointed out that the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. You have spent years, perhaps a lifetime, forging the chains of instant gratification. You have trained your brain and body to seek the easy way out, the quick release. Now you are undertaking the difficult work of breaking those chains. It will not be comfortable. There will be a withdrawal. Your body will scream for the old pattern. Your mind will create 1,000 brilliant excuses for why you should give in just this once. This is the battle. This is where endurance is built. It is not built on the calm days. It is forged in the fire of temptation. Every time you redirect that energy, you weaken the old chain and you forge a new link in the chain of discipline. What is the one project or goal you would pour all this reclaimed energy into? Describe that vision in the comments. Let's make it real. By writing it down, you give that energy its first command. You point the river in the direction you want it to flow. Do not be the man with a stagnant lake of power. Be the man who digs the channels. Be the man who waters his garden. Be the man who powers a city. The power is not the point. What you do with the power is everything. The transformation is not what you think it is. You start this journey believing the prize is something external. You think if you save this energy, you will get the girl, you will get the money, you will get the respect. You are still thinking like a merchant, trading one thing to get another. This is the final and most subtle trap. The world may indeed rearrange itself around the new man you are becoming, but that is a side effect. It is not the goal. The true prize is not what you get. The true prize is who you become. You are so focused on the destination that you fail to realize the journey itself is changing you at a fundamental level. Think of a man who decides to climb a great mountain. He thinks his goal is to stand on the summit and take a picture. He endures freezing winds, exhaustion, and the risk of falling. He pushes his body and mind to their absolute limits. When he finally reaches the top, the view is incredible, yes. But the real transformation did not happen on the summit. It happened on the climb. It happened in the thousands of difficult steps he took. It happened in the moments he wanted to quit, but didn't. The mountain was just a tool to forge him into a man of unbreakable will and endurance. The man who comes down from the mountain is not the same man who started the climb. His reward is not the picture from the summit. His reward is the new self that was born from the struggle. This path of retention is your mountain. The temptations and the struggles are the treacherous slopes. And the man you are becoming is the prize. You see this play out in everyday life. A man who is needy and insecure constantly seeks validation from his partner. His energy is like a frantic, grasping hand. It is chaotic and selfish. He needs her to feel whole. This is the man with the leaky bucket. He is always trying to be filled from the outside. Now, consider a man who has learned to contain and direct his own life force. He is a wellspring, not a drain. His presence is calm and stable. He does not need anything from his partner because he is already whole. His energy is a gift he can share, not a debt he needs her to pay. He can love from a place of fullness, not from a place of lack. He becomes a source of strength, a pillar. The relationship transforms, not because he tried to change it, but because he changed. His inner world became orderly, so his outer world followed. This is the real power. It is not a loud, flashy force. It is a quiet gravitational pull. You become centered. The frantic energy of the world, the noise, the distractions, they begin to lose their hold on you. Your focus becomes like a laser. When you work, you truly work. When you listen, you truly listen. People feel this. They may not know what it is, but they feel the calmness and the depth in your presence. They feel that you are anchored in something real. While they are being tossed about by the waves of their own chaotic impulses, you are no longer a leaf in the wind. You are the tree. You must understand, if you feel this call, this mission, you have been given a heavier load than most. Therefore, you require more strength to carry it. This practice is not about self-deprivation. It is about self-preservation. It is the training required for the task ahead. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot build a temple with stolen stones and borrowed time. You must be the quarry. You must be the architect. You must be the builder. This requires an immense, sustained reserve of energy, the very energy you have been casually throwing away. This wisdom isn't new. The great Stoics knew it. The yogis of the East perfected it. They all understood that the mastery of the self begins with the mastery of one's own vital force. As one observer of humanity put it, the highest virtue is not found in a man who is without passions, but in a man whose passions are guided by reason and will. The end of this path is not a tense man, white-knuckling his way through life, constantly fighting urges. That is the beginner's stage. The true master is at peace. The dam has been built, the channels have been dug, and the garden is flourishing. The river flows powerfully, but peacefully, within its designated course. He has so much energy for his purpose, for his loved ones, for his spiritual connection, that the old, cheap releases seem utterly absurd. It would be like a millionaire stopping to fight a child for a penny. The temptation loses its power because the alternative you are building is infinitely more beautiful and satisfying. So stop counting the days. Stop looking for external rewards. Start focusing on the man you are forging. Every time you choose your purpose over a fleeting pleasure, you strike the hot iron with the hammer. You are shaping yourself. You are not losing anything. You are reclaiming everything. You are calling home the scattered parts of your own power and uniting them under the command of your will. This is the endurance of the chosen ones. Not chosen to be better, but chosen for a harder task. And you are finally building the strength to carry it. The kingdom you have been trying to build is not outside of you. It is within. And with this energy, you finally have the resources to build it, stone by glorious stone.